So good day, folks. I'm back. Following the repeal of the farm laws, all I can say is it's no longer in the papers. It said saying now SKM mails PM on MSP, 5 others pending demand. Farmers to go ahead with planned protest activities. And here what I'll say is the reason why it basically is gone off all front pages and obviously in the mainstream Godi media is because they've all been left out on the limb. And you understand that, and they don't know how to recover from this because they've spent 24/7, 365 trying to propagate these laws in support of the government, including creating Khalistanis, making it all Sikh agitation. But hey, now what do they say? They're actually being left with a pole, left dangling on a pole, and nothing more, nothing less, right? So you have this, right? You have this demand to extend MSP to 23 crops if agreed to will drive country to bankruptcy, says Ghanwat. He may be right, but it can't be 23 blanket, right? It has to be, if you do it by state subject. Some states will get MSP on a particular crop that's good for that area. Some places will get for the others. Like for example in Punjab, if you want to move them away from rice, you got to grade the MSP down for rice and grade the MSP up for fruits and vegetables. But while you're doing that, you also have to provide the infrastructure. You really can't expect people may produce oranges and tomatoes and then not have the infrastructure to move them or to keep them in cold storage. Without that, that's expecting too much. So you got to put your money where your mouth is. And I'm going to tell Ghanwat that, right? MSP is actually nothing but the subsidies that are offered by other countries to their farmers. Now, if somebody has to study what happened in the United States, after Clinton, I think it was Clinton, changed the agricultural laws and freed it up. 95% of the small farmer is dead and gone. He's disappeared. And where is he? Where is he working? He's lost his house, he's lost his household, he's probably on rent and he's working on a minimum paid job in Walmart and Walgreen and in these in retail stores, in the gig economy or in Amazon. Right? Is that what we want? Because we don't even have that kind of economy to take these guys and deploy them, right? And what do we do about that? They still, despite that change, I think if I'm not mistaken, the subsidy in the United States is 100 billion plus, same thing with the European Union. So if you're gonna compete in global environment, right, agriculture, you're gonna have to, whatever color of the cat, you're gonna have to provide some support to the farmer. At the very least, you're gonna have to seriously invest in infrastructure. Seriously invest in infrastructure, not just loose talk. So when you hear Rahul Shiv Shankar, who's another bhakt left hanging dry, is Rahul Shiv Shankar, Times Now guy. Kissan netas have hubris, BJP did. Modi has waited till his second term and for an even bigger mandate to allow himself numerical elbow room in the upper house of parliament to deliver on his promise of doubling farmer incomes by 2023. Can a government be branded hubristic when it has waited with humility for 5 years to legislate on a commitment made to the voter? Still abusing the farmer. Still abusing. And he is somebody who is pinky white, has not been near a farm, right? Has no clue, has probably not studied the outcome of what happened to the farmers in the United States. And he has absolutely no iota of any leg to stand on when he makes a comment like this, right? What Giles Verniers has it right. His 2024 polls are BJP's worry, not 2022 UP. He says BJP is wary of broad class-based mobilizations that cut across caste and religious lines and speak of India's economic woes. It would rather address voters as individual recipients of state generosity or as members of groups that can be mobilized through other tropes than economic performance, such as caste, religion or national pride. Rahul Shiv Shankar, obviously poor in mathematics, just like Hardeep Puri. I just want to figure out how he intended to double income of the farmers. How with these MSP laws? For God's sakes, Rahul Shiv Shankar, stop such kneeling, going down on your knees so badly that your pants get torn. Cheers.
अब बात करते हैं किसान आंदोलन की कि यहाँ तक किसान आंदोलन क्यों पहुंचा कि नरेंद्र मोदी जी को ये किसान कानून वापस लेने की जरूरत पड़ी। दरअसल ये काम भी उनके योगी जी ने कर दिया। प्रिय योगी जी ने इतनी बढ़िया बैटिंग कराई कि आज मोदी जी की फिर फजीहत हो गई। अब आप कहेंगे कि योगी जी का इसमें क्या रोल है? तो मैं आपको समझाता हूँ कि अगर योगी आदित्यनाथ जी दूरदर्शिता से फैसला करते, अगर उनके नाकारा अफसर, उनके सलाहकार, उनके चमचे लोग इतनी बड़ी ब्रांडिंग नहीं करते, तो आज शायद देश के प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी को इस तरह शर्मिंदा नहीं होना पड़ता, किसानों के आगे झुकना नहीं पड़ता। पूरे देश में मजाक उड़ रही है, कर लगाते हैं। गोदी मीडिया है, अपने अपने स्वार्थ हैं, तो देश में किसानों के लिए ऐसा वातावरण तैयार कराया जैसे किसान ही सबसे बड़े आतंकवादी हैं। भूख प्यास से बैठे हुए हैं, अगर किसान एसी में बैठ गया तो उनको बहुत परेशानी होती थी। फोटो वायरल किए जाते हैं, देखो किसान पिज़्ज़ा खा रहा है, आटे वाली मशीन लगी है, एसी में बैठा है। बात इनकी सही थी। इनको लगता है कि किसान है, मजदूर है, ये इस लायक है ही नहीं कि ये कूलर में, पंखे में भी बैठ पाएँ। इनको तो बस खेत में पसीना बहाना है। जो एसी में बैठना है, जो बड़ी-बड़ी आलीशान गाड़ियों में घूमना है, जो लंदन में 765 करोड़ का मकान बनवाना है, वो तो बीजेपी के मंत्री, प्रधानमंत्री, उनके 2 अंबानी, अडानी, विजय माल्या या इस तरह के नीरव चौकसी-वॉकसी।
So I am now in a conversation with an imaginary friend who basically told me that the repeal of the laws in that case, the politics won over economics. Fine, that seems like a fair answer, which is what is the general trend that I'm seeing everywhere else. So then I asked him, what will these, and he also went ahead and ahead and said that this was all about some big hundred odd thousand farmers, and the rest, whatever 10 lakh crore farmers, as the Prime Minister points out, the small farmers, these laws benefit them. The question becomes, visualize this, right? You have these small farmers, small holding. They grow tomatoes in their small fields, right? They come up with whatever quantity of tomatoes. They're small farmers. They don't have transportation. They really can't go to now the mandis are no longer existing. Where the hell do they go to dispose of those tomatoes, right? In comes these telis, the traders. They offer them 1 rupee 50 paisa per kilo. The same tomato is being sold for 60 rupees a kilo in Delhi. These guys refuse to sell it. They're forced to throw that out on the roads. Guess what happens? Probably these telis come and pick those up for free. Right? The small farmer is then, what's he going to do, right? Just like in the United States, he's going to be forced to sell his land. And Rahul Gandhi also mentioned something very similar. So I asked him, what then? He's going to be forced to sell his land for cheap to all these aggregators, which are nothing but frontmen for all these dirty politicians of this ruling class, who will then subsequently sell it to the Ambanis and Adanis at a much higher price, or get it acquired by the state at a much higher price once this consolidated, right? And I asked him, what is this guy expected to do? Well, this is the beauty of growth driven by urbanization. So he's expected to, as per him, go to the cities and work as a chipadasi, as a driver, as a knocker. That's his statement, right? So you and me, for us, owning a home is the biggest thing, right? It seems like, right? Home loans. The West has decided that, that ownership of home is the ultimate. And man just thrives on this. Land has been your soul forever. So you're asking this small farmer, for the sake of your monetarist economic theories, to give up his soul, to come then in these factories to work as a labor where he's going to be treated poorly, or go to work as a chapadasi, a guard who doesn't get over, who's not protected, gets less than 15,000 rupees, right? This is our expectation from us all armchair economists, people sitting in Delhi who are now abusing and accusing Modi of a U-turn. Hey, U-turn he had to take, but because still you provide the security blanket to the farmer, and especially the small farmer. And let me just tell you, this is not about large farmers alone. This is the spin that's being given by this government, trying to create a divide between the large and the small farmer. But the small farmer is not stupid either, folks. And the more you think, the more the government thinks, more the Tomers think, or Piyush Goyal thinks, themselves steeped in corruption, that they could go and divide the farmer they're not going to be able to do that. And this whole thing, man, ये बहुत कोशिश के का प्रयास करने के बावजूद भी नहीं वो माने, that's all a big scam as far as I can suggest. But they've been withdrawn, thank God for that, because it shows that democracy still works. But let me just say this. You really can't count on the small farmer giving up his land, because that is just purely unfair and bourgeoisie. Unfair and bourgeoisie.
कुछ घंटे में बंद हो जाएगा। फिर उन चमचों ने कहना शुरू किया, उनका ट्वीट करना शुरू किया, देखो क्या हाल हो गई है। इस बीच में टिकैत भावुक हो गए और उनकी आंखों में आंसू आ गए। बस आंसू देखकर तो बिल्कुल बाढ़ लग गई। देखो कैसे फुक्का मार के रो रहा है, अपनी औकात में आ गया, हैसियत में आ गया। जिन लोगों की हैसियत कुछ नहीं थी, वो एक किसान नेता को उनकी हैसियत बताने लगे थे। और वो जो आंसू थे, हमने आज फ्रंट पेज पे कवरेज स्टोरी भी ये की है कि आंसू की कीमत लगाइए। देखिए ये पेज जो है वो देख रहे होंगे आप। तो वो जो आंसू थे वो पश्चिमी उत्तर प्रदेश में अमृत बन गए। लोगों को लगा कि हमारे बीच का आदमी, और इस पे ये 2 टके के चमचे अफसर और सलाहकार और इस तरह के बिल्कुल जिनको अहंकार के मारे मरे जा रहे हैं, उनको लग रहा है कि ये टिकैत साहब की मजाक उड़ा लेंगे। तो जो आंदोलन उस दिन खत्म हो जाता, उस आंदोलन को 10 गुना ताकत से वो आंदोलन खड़ा हो गया। नतीजा आपके सामने, पूरा पॉलिटिकल सिनेरियो बदला और अखिलेश यादव की गाजीपुर से लेकर और जो लखनऊ तक का एक रात का शो था, और जो सुबह से चले पूरी रात चलते रहे, और पूर्वांचल पे बड़ी संख्या में, हजारों की संख्या में लोग पूरी रात उनका इंतजार करते रहे। उससे 24 घंटे पहले प्रधानमंत्री जी ने रैली करी, और शीतल पी सिंह जी बहुत सीनियर जर्नलिस्ट हैं, वो गए थे वहाँ पे। वो बता रहे थे कि मनरेगा के मजदूर लाके बिठाए गए थे और एक भी नारा नहीं, उद्बोधन नहीं, बड़ी फीकी फीकी सी रैली प्रधानमंत्री की, और जोश से भरी रैली अगले दिन समाजवादी पार्टी की। बताया जाता है कि जो आंतरिक सर्वे कराया भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने अलग अलग सोर्स से, मेरे सूत्रों का कहना है उसमें हर में भी ये पता चला कि बीजेपी 100 सीटें भी क्रॉस नहीं करेगी। हाथ पैर फूल गए, और बीच में जो चुनाव हुए थे, सोचिए हिमाचल प्रदेश जो गढ़ था बीजेपी का, जो सरकार है, वहां पे लगभग 2500 वोट मिले सिर्फ एक सीट पर, जमानत जब्त। जितनी जगह चुनाव हुए अभी एक 15 दिन 20 दिन पहले, उनमें हर जगह बीजेपी का वोट परसेंटेज बहुत बुरी तरह से गिर गया। तब प्रधानमंत्री को समझ में आया कि ये दांव गलत हो गया। अगर किसान आंदोलन इसी तरह बढ़ता रहा तो झाड़ू लग जाएगी भारतीय जनता पार्टी की। उत्तर प्रदेश में योगी आदित्यनाथ सरकार के कारनामे वैसे ही कम नहीं है। गांव गांव में ये संदेशा है कि ये सरकार पिछड़ी जातियों की विरोधी है, ये सरकार ठाकरों की है, पंडितों की है, बनियों की है। दलितों और पिछड़ों का सरकार में कोई काम नहीं है। किसानों का साथ।
So in conclusion, what do we have here? What does fifth column Tableen Singh writes? She says, well done PM Modi. Everything else is well done. This is what I like about her. What she said is here. Farmers believe that the belief of the hated laws was a victory for them and a vindication of their long protest. They showed the grace to say that if the Prime Minister came and shared the sweets with them, he would be welcome. They seem to have understood better than carping critics and know-all political pundits that this was a good day for India and a great day for Indian democracy. Hear all, right? A new deal for agriculture. He says the laws focus largely on the transactional realm, output markets, contract farming and storage and movement between harvest and sale farming. On ensuring the economic viability, the key, however, a wider reset of agriculture policy must be guided by 3 principles. One, ensuring the economic viability of small farmer is key. No, you can't have them, force them to sell their land, folks. Everybody who's asking them to do that already hankers for property, has properties everywhere. The first lead question anybody of these guys was saying is, "Tere paas property idhar hai, kitni hai, kitne ki hai?" And they are the same guys asking you to get rid of the property. So you can't have that. 2, there needs to be a push for a change in the international terms of trade in agriculture. Like I said, it's important. And 3, there needs to be a serious focus on cooperatives rather than just private business as the way to push reforms. This will give farmers greater ownership. Cooperatives, folks, and unfortunately here the cooperatives has been hogged up by Amit Shah, and I'm not sure what good that has done, but hey, this is where it actually belongs. Let's hope for better times for our Indian farmer, because the way this is going, the way what Rahul Shivshankar says, there was no chance in hell, Mr. Rahul Shivshankar, for the income to double the way the investment in farming was. Jai Hind.